Alright guys, welcome to the Cyberface Mixer tutorial for the Cyberface Mixer for 2K26. I'm not going to waste much time, let's just get going. So, you've just made the purchase of the Cyberface Mixer, and you are brought to this screen right here, and you need to hit go to your items. That will take you to the itch.io page. Is currently hosting the download for this. We had some issues early, but they're all solved now. And here, I recommend you download the owner's manual. It'll be included in the package in the next update. It includes all of the controls for mouse, keyboard, Xbox, and PlayStation controllers. So just hit the download button down here, and it'll start, and then it's going to take you to actually download the file. And I'm not going to do that. It is about 22 gigabytes for the installer. So once you have that downloaded, after purchase, you'll have also gotten your activation key, and you will have gotten it in your email. Make sure you check your spam inbox. A lot of people, this email is going to their spam inbox and they're not checking it, and then they're wondering, "Where's my key?" Make sure you check your spam box if you don't see it in your email. But your email is going to look a little something like this right here, and just keep that open for now. So let's say the mixer downloaded and now you're ready to get it installed. You will have this Cyberface Mixer installer .7-zip file. You can just double click and open that with whatever software you use to open zip files. I use 7-zip. You guys can use the Windows Zip Explorer, whatever the case. Open that up, and you can run this installer directly from here, or you can extract these files elsewhere on your PC. Then you want to run that installer, and it's going to be a very basic setup installer. It's going to give you some basic instructions, and then it will ask you where you want to install the mixer to. And I'm not going to run through that right now, but it will begin installing, and I'm going to go ahead and skip to the end of this. Now your Cyberface Mixer is installed, and we need to go ahead and activate it real quick. So I've went ahead and removed my own license here so that we can I can show you guys what to do. So go ahead and open the mixer. You should have had a shortcut created on your desktop if you chose. If not, just run Cyberface Mixer exe that's in the install directory. And the mixer sometimes does take a moment to open. It's initializing a lot of information on startup. So just give it a second, and when it opens up, you'll see right here you've got the Cyberface Mixer UI, and you'll notice, because I've not yet activated it, I have the activate button in the top right, and I can't actually do anything. I can hit new ID all I want, but it's not gonna let you do anything because you do need an official license for this. So let's say you're ready to activate your mixer. You've got your email here on the left. That gives you your activation key and your email that you need to log in with. So go ahead and hit activate at the top right of the mixer. It's going to ask you for your purchase email and your license key. Now, you would just take this and you'd put it there, and then you'll take your activation key and copy and paste that and put it there. And then you'll hit activate. After you hit activate, you'll notice the activate button at the top right goes away, and now these buttons, random mix, manual mix, they'll open up for you so you can actually use the application now. Now, before we explore this any further, let's go ahead and cover a few things before we start the game up. So we can just leave the mixer open here if we want, and obviously there's no minimize button on it. If you wanted to minimize it, you could hit Alt-M. Alt-M is the command for that, or also flicking down on the right stick on your controller will also show and hide the mixer. So let's close that up for now. You guys will need Modium. If you don't know what Modium is, it's kind of like the new standard in the NBA 2K modding community. We use this to deliver mods to to our fans and customers, and they get sent directly into a nice entirety mod manager like so. Modium's free. It doesn't cost anything. Can't promise that the mods you get on there won't cost anything, but Modium itself is free. You need to make an account, download Modium. Once you have Modium installed, you need to open it up, and you'll have a library. Now I've noticed people who don't have any mods in their Modium library seem to not be able to launch the game through Modium. I'm not sure if that's going to stay the case or still the case, but it has been the case. So if that's the case, contact me and we'll see what we can do to get you launching the game through Modium. But once you're here, go ahead and click play. And usually this would be the spot before you play where you'd click and you'd open the mixer. You'd give it a second to open up, but the mixer's already running for us, so I'm not going to worry about that. Also, guys, don't forget to download the owner's manual for this. This literally has every control that the mixer has bound to it. So this will give you an idea of how this works and how to navigate the interface and everything. But I'm going to give you a quick rundown here of how I use the mixer and the best practices so that you guys don't have any more frustrations when trying to navigate the mixer UI. So 2K has booted up and the mixer UI has booted up. We want to go ahead and just close the mixer UI so it's not in our way while we're trying to navigate the menu. So just go ahead and flick down on the right stick. That's the best way to show and hide it, is just flicking down on the right stick on your controller. Of course, Alt plus M on the keyboard. And just for a quick example, I'll go ahead and take you guys into just to create a draft class real quick. This is my favorite use of the mixer, is just getting rid of 2K's horrible caps and making basically my own unique players. So let's flick down on the right stick and bring up the Cyberface mixer. And once we're here, let's go ahead and navigate this UI a little bit. So we have the output ID. This is the Cyberface ID that the player you're mixing will use in their files. So that's what that is. You could type anything you want there, hit set. It will set the output ID to that value. Before we move on any further, this is something I should have went over earlier in the video. You need to browse to your mods folder. So you'll go to NBA 2K26 and then go to its install directory, go to mods, and then just hit select folder. And then your mods folder is ready to go. The rest of the mixer UI would load up at that point because it wouldn't have before. And now you're able to actually do mixes. So once you've done that, random skin, this is basically you can force a certain skin tone on a random mix. So say if I want a white guy, the higher skin tone values are going to be the lighter guys. So let's say I want a white guy here. Well, you want to make a new ID. And if I were to hit random mix, we'll give it a second. The first mix always takes a little more time. But after that, it goes pretty quick. And see there, we got Daryl Frazier, the white guy himself. Looking like a pure shooter. He got some long-ass arms on him, though. So there you go. And if if I were to set it to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 6, you're talking about, that's going to be your darker complected fellers. Let's go here. So let's say we got a good face for Daryl Frazier and we want to move on to the next guy. You're just going to hover over the next guy, hit new ID, and let's say we want to do another random mix. We'll hit random mix. And if we go into edit player, we can see him there. Another white boy, Wade Kelly. Got a little bit of a belly, Wade Kelly, but there he is right there. And yeah, so every time you want to do a new mix, I recommend hitting new ID before it, unless you want to replace someone else or use a very specific ID and you want to set it at the top. Just hit new ID before every mix. But let's say we did a new mix here and we did new ID random mix. Now hopefully it gives me a crappy character here. Let's see. All right, it's not too bad. His hair's a little funky. Let's say we're not happy with this one. Instead of hitting new ID, we'll just keep the same ID on him so we're not taking up any more space in our mods folder. and we'll just replace the Cyberface files that the last guy had generated. So we hit random mix again, go to edit player, back out, and now we have a brand new guy in place, and he's got a little bit of a hair issue back there. So you know what? We like everything about this mix, but his hair is not quite fitting on his head. That's where our next feature will come in. We can go to this edit body option here on the very right of the mixer UI. Click on that, and it's going to load up a special setup of Blender that's made for the mixer that allows us to quickly fix some of these issues that happen commonly within mixing, because the mixing is not an exact science. You're talking about a bunch of mismatch assets combined together to hopefully make a brand new unique character. Doesn't always work that great. So we're going to turn his head, turn his forehead angle up a little bit so his hair can hit the seam of his head there. And then that looks pretty good there. So maybe we'll scale his hair X a little more down so it fits a little better. And I'm liking the way this guy's looking. Maybe his double chin's a little, you got a little too much of a double chin going on here. We'll go ahead and change that. This value here, gizzard fullness, that's a little inside joke from my childhood about our fat principal at school. So we'll go ahead and keep that there. And there we go. So now I'm happy with this guy. I can go down to the bottom and go to inject. That's going to automatically compile that model back so it can be injected back into 2K. And now if we go edit him, we see his hair lines up pretty good there in the back. And he's looking pretty good. So there you go. And let's say we wanted to, we like this mix. We want to put a different hairstyle on him though, but keep everything else the same. So we don't want his facial structure to get randomized anymore. We don't want his body structure to get randomized anymore. So we're going to go ahead and uncheck those boxes. And let's go ahead and just choose a different hairstyle here. So we can go with the bumpers. We can navigate the tabs in the mixer menu. So let's say we go to hair. We click on the drop down here. Let me get my mouse out of the way. And we can just scroll through the hairs here, and we have thumbnails of every hairstyle in the game. Let's say we want some Jordan. I don't like Jordan Hill's hair in this game. I'm pretty sure it has a bad mesh. Let's do something like, come on now. There's gotta be something here. Chris Copeland. I think he has a bad mesh too. He's got like a bad hair model. We could do, oh, Alfred Payton's hair. Here's a good one. This is a crazy one. So let's say we want to put Alfred Payton's hair on him. So we go to the manual assets menu. All of the assets that were used on this character in the last mix will be populated here. So all we have to do is change this hair model and go ahead and just manual mix him. And whenever you do a manual mix, it uses whatever assets are set in the assets menu here. So we'll go in, we'll look, and now you see he's got Alfred Payton's hair. That's pretty crazy looking. So yeah, that's how you use the manual mixing in tandem with random mixes, things of that nature. Just kind of toy around with things, guys. You'll eventually figure out how this is working. So let's say we like everything about him now, but maybe you don't like his facial structure and you just want a different look on him. We can go ahead and we can keep the body. We'll just randomize the face. And we can go ahead and manual mix him again. And this time his facial structure will randomize. And now you see he looks a little different than he did before. So that is how we get unique faces on every player in the game. Even though their base model may be someone that already exists, it's going to be touched up and tweaked a little bit to make it feel like a new guy at the end of the day. So that is how you use that. Now let's say, just for the sake of this, let's go ahead and apply an incorrect skin tone to this guy. Down here in this appearance section, this is some appearance information in the Cyberface, like their skin tone, It determines if they use a generic or what generic skin tone they'll use under tattoos, or for example, but just what underlying skin tone they have. Their eye color can be changed here. The size of their iris can be changed. And if we go to advanced appearance, this is some of the other more technical stuff that's under the hood. We can change what type of muscle definition they have. You can change hair color at any point. So let's say I want this guy to have a bright green Alfred Payton hair. We can just go click on the hair color and put whatever we want in here. Let's say we want that to be his hair color. We hit apply hair. Give it a second. Go back in. Edit out. Bam. You got green Alfred Payton hair. He's looking like a crazy guy right now. So that's how you would do that. You can do the same thing with beard. There's a 5% chance on a random mix that they could get a special random hair color. That does not apply with the facial hair because people don't really have too many. Not a lot of normal people dye their beard. So then you have the other appearance info here, like torso length, shoulder width, arms length, neck length, abs thin and thick. Sometimes you'll need to make some adjustments to the abs thin and thick. Abs thin, the higher the value, the thinner their midsection is. Abs thick, the higher the value, the thinner their midsection is. And then it also works in the inverse. If I turn abs thick all the way down, the more thin they are. And if I turn abs thin all the way down, the more thick they get. So those kind of work in tandem. I'm going to improve the randomization behind those values soon, but that's it for now. Same thing works with hips. So say you did all the edits you want to do there and you want to apply them, you would just hit this apply button here. And then when you go in, whatever changes you made are now present. You see the skin tone's changed. His midsection got a little thicker. So say we want to fix his skin tone. Sometimes the Cyberface in the game doesn't have the right skin tone set. So we'll just set it manually. Go in, back out, go back in. He's got his fixed skin tone now. So that's how you do that right there. And then let's talk a little bit about, let's say you did all that and you're unhappy with it and you want to go back to the way it was originally. Well, you can go down to the mix history here, and every mix you did gets saved with a timestamp and the name of the player that you actually mixed over. So let's go back to his original mix, and we can hit load. And what that'll do is it'll load up all the assets from his original mix into this assets menu. And then we can get rid of all that, hit manual mix. And now we're back to him, and he's got his custom hair color still. We could always revert that back manually. So let's talk a little bit about the assets menu here. The assets menu, it's a drop-down list of every asset in the game for asset type. I tried to label as many possible assets as I could with their actual player name so that we could better locate them. But let's say you want to search for something. You need to click with your mouse here in this field. Control A, you can select all of it, and then you can just start typing. So let's say we want Brandon. Brandon Knight's not in the game anymore, but let's do let's do, is Taco still in the game? Taco Fall's still in the game. So we could just search for TACK and Taco Fall will come up, and we can click him, and you can see here that's definitely his model. And so, yeah, you can use that. You can see it when you scroll through here. If you click on one of these and just scroll, you'll be able to navigate through all of them. And everything in here is sorted by skin tone. So that is how that works. Let's say you're on controller and you just want to get rid of a bad asset. So let's just do a new mix here for the sake of it. Joseph Stevenson, he's got a little bit of a hair problem there. No biggie. Let's say we want to get rid of that hair because of the hair problem. We can tab over to the assets menu, go to his hair, click on it with A on our controller or X, and then you hit the square or X button on your controller, and it will go to the no hair option automatically. Or if you go up 1 from there, you can go to random and completely randomize only the hair itself. So then you'll hit A to submit that change. You can also use X and Y to do, or square and triangle to do uh, different random or manual mixes, as long as you're not on a drop down menu. So let's say we did that right there. We want to rerun him without the hair. We'll just hit triangle here to run the manual mix again. We go to him, and now his hair is gone. And then one last thing here. Let's say you're getting ready to go into a game now, and you don't want the mixer to be on your screen catching hotkeys or the the right stick flicks. We can go ahead and just press in the right stick, and that will completely deactivate the mixer, so that it now no longer is fetching any hotkeys. I can click anything on my controller, and nothing will be affected. Now let's say I got done playing the game and I want to reactivate the mixer now. Press both sticks in at the same time on your controller. The mixer comes back up. Sometimes it'll activate, the quick edit menu. Just back out of that. And now you can use the commands again and flick the right stick down, and the mixer will populate again. So that's pretty much everything, guys. Any issues or bugs you run into using the mixer, please contact me and let me know. I'm trying to get all these bugs figured out as soon as possible. Sorry for the slightly shaky release. This is my first time ever releasing something with, back-end web services and things like that. So it was a little bit of a challenge. I had to figure things out, but we got it all figured out now. So thanks, guys, for the support on the mixer so far. We've got a lot of support, and we're gonna keep updating this thing and make it better. So hopefully 27's Cyberface file structure is not too different. If it's not, we'll just be directly porting this thing to work with 2K27 as well. So yeah, guys, hope you have a good time with the mixer. I know I will, and yeah, I'll see you next time.